This is IMCC Live, Insight Meditation Community of Charlottesville. My name is Jeanne and Gemert, and I'll be leading tonight. I'd like to talk first about our attention, how we give it, reserve it, receive it, spend it, squander it. Our attention is the most important thing we have to give. When we give it to ourselves and others in a kind and non-judgmental way, it can be very powerful. It is part of what we call our presence. And it's helpful to notice our attention patterns. And this is how we begin our meditation. We gather our attention that might be flying all over the place in order to invite ourselves to focus. It's like water. Left on its own, water will quickly run around, find the lowest ground, sink in, and disappear. If we build a reservoir and use pipes to direct the water, it becomes very valuable because we've been skillful in managing it. It is then a huge resource, like our attention. During these most difficult days, this great resource of our attention is probably all over the place. As you notice this for yourself, give yourself great kindness. We've not had a crisis like this in our lifetimes. A percentage of our attention runs toward being scared, toward being angry, immensely sad, grief-stricken, spaced out, helpless, hopeless, everywhere. Our feelings of uncertainty are off the charts. In Buddhism, we learn that uncertainty, impermanence, change, these shifting sands are the way it always is. But we ignore that, push it under the radar, pretend it isn't there, because we're deluded in our longing for certainty. These days, our uncertainty is not under the radar. Our first task is then, with immense kindness, to manage our attention so it can be our resource. We can assess whether each thought is helpful, and if it isn't, to let it go. When our attention is more settled, we can move into spaciousness, to breathe more deeply and to get a wider view of the crisis we are in. It's a social, political, economic, and spiritual crisis. First off, who could ever now question our interrelatedness? The whole world is trying to solve the same problem. All humans all over the world are feeling the exact same things we are feeling. We all have family, friends, work, and play. Some helpful places to put our attention is in imagining we are standing alongside each other around the globe and extending our empathy, our loving kindness to each other. We are all suffering. I do know how you feel. I feel exactly the same way. We can chant together our good wishes, hopes, and aspirations. We can send prayers over and over and over and over. Our loving kindness phrase, "May all beings be well," never carried so much relevance. We can dwell in the Brahma-viharas, being glad for others' good news, being thankful when we feel equanimous, being grateful for what we have and for those providing for us. We can also pause and focus on each very singular moment. Of course, this is going to change. We can't predict how, but we can know a crisis this large holds great opportunity for change. And how would we like our country, our world, to be? We might, for a start, choose more cooperation. The Buddhist scholar Bhikkhu Bodhi said, like a bird in flight, borne by its two wings, the practice of Dhamma is sustained by two contrasting qualities, whose balanced development is essential to straight and steady progress. These two qualities are renunciation and compassion. In Buddhist terms, renunciation means giving up or letting go of what's unwholesome. It means examining our intentions, our thinking, our desires, to see if they are wholesome. We get to decide what is wholesome and what is not. And we all have our unwholesomenesses, our defilements, our kleshas. We are all greedy, hate things, and are under delusions of all different sorts. For example, we hate to give up anything we've achieved or accomplished. Our ego wants to hang its hat somewhere. And this is normal for humans all around the world. The most important thing, however, is that we cultivate the insight to see this in ourselves and have the courage to change it for the better, for the well-being of all, not just ourselves. In ancient India, the Buddhist king Asoka, born in 304 BC, ruled for 38 years. The individual morality that Asoka hoped to foster included respect toward all, generosity, harmlessness toward life, moderation in spending, tolerance, education, and qualities of the heart, kindness, self-examination, truthfulness, gratitude, purity of heart, enthusiasm, strong loyalty, self-control, and love of the Dharma. It's no wonder he was held in high esteem for so long. You know, in India, even today, there are remnants of those pillars that were built for Asoka. They've been, knocked down, a hurricane, all sorts of things, and sometimes only the base of them remains. And on the top, they were often decorated with a lion or a lion's head or a bull or something like that. And those are now, some of them are in museums, but they're at significant places like in Lumbini, Nepal, where the Buddha was born, and so you can come across them in Northeast India. He was greatly loved. Some people have said it seems lately here that the kleshas of greed, hatred, and delusion, called the three poisons, are poisoning us. It's possible this crisis may be an opportunity for systemic change. It appears our current system takes from the poor and working class to generate wealth for the already wealthy. On the front lines, getting sick, are those desperate to put food on the table or altruistically to help others in need. We seem to be a long way from living simply so others can simply live. Brian Stevenson said you ultimately judge the civility of a society not by how it treats the rich, the powerful, the protected and the highly esteemed, but by how it treats the poor, the disfavored, and the disadvantaged. This is a time to turn toward each other in appreciation, kindness, cooperation, and love. In giving thanks to those most essential now. And there might come an opportunity to reconfigure our economy and society to reflect this compensation and recognition. We might get over our bias against ethnicity and racism to expand the social safety net. Last weekend, the reporter Nicholas Kristof wrote an article in the New York Times on the care and incredible work being done inside a hard-hit Bronx hospital. He said the most heart-wrenching, difficult work being done there was, quote, magnificent to witness. It's a glimpse of what a better world might look like. May the ethic of cooperation at a moment of crisis continue. For metta practice tonight, I came across this beautiful YouTube titled Praise Song for the Pandemic by Christine Walters Pampner.
To listen to the recording Jeanne refers to, visit YouTube, search for Praise Song for the Pandemic. Due to copyright reasons, we cannot duplicate it here.
Please stay well, stay safe, and every day from 12 to 1, we at IMCC are offering guided meditation. Put blessings for yourselves, for others in the bowl, and we look forward to gathering again next Tuesday evening. I'd also like to thank IMCC, thank Judy Harmon, thank the other teachers, thank the board, and thank you all. Good night.